Happy Sabbath. It's so nice to see you all here, the little ones and the bigger ones out there. So you all know we all went to Thailand, and we've shared pictures with some of you, but I thought it'd be really fun to share just a little bit of a story about when we went to ride elephants. So we had some guides that were going to take us on this exploration into the jungle, and they had to drive. The road that we needed to go was like a 30-minute drive up a dirt road, and they were going to, but it had been raining a lot. It was really muddy, and the road was difficult, so they decided to drive an hour and a half around to come get us. But we didn't have very much time, so we'll save time, and we'll drive the 30 minutes to the village, even though the roads are bad, with them. And then from there, we'll go see the elephants. The roads, they thought about bringing the elephants to us, but that was going to be too difficult because it was too muddy. So anyways, I don't have pictures of the road, but there were a few times we got stuck, but the Thai people are very smart. They figured out how to get us up and over the roads and to where we needed to be. And when we got to our place where they were, you can see they were pretty, well, they're not in the order again that I wanted, but that's okay. So first of all, we started off feeding the elephants, and the guides had brought huge bags of bananas for us to feed them, which I don't think I have any of that in the picture, but, and then, the kids all got to ride, and they got to sit on top of the elephants. And you'll see that getting on actually is pretty easy when the elephants sit down for you. You just you can climb up their back leg or their side leg. Their skin is pretty rough, so it's pretty easy to climb up. And the guides, of course, were experts in everything on how to do and what to do with the elephants. And the elephants were actually pretty tame. They're very big. They come right up into your space. Of course, they want the bananas. If you're holding a banana, you be ready. And it was actually, I think, easier than riding a horse because you sit kind of on their head and you put your legs behind their ears. So you feel kind of secure there because you're kind of nestled in between their ears. And we did this hike, maybe it was about a mile long, and once we got to the top, there's waterfalls, and the boys got to give the elephant a bath. So there's, what Harrison is holding here is a piece of, it's actually a big stick that the guides used. They broke it up with like a machete type thing, and it's actually got natural antibacterial properties, and it actually gets a lather like soap. And they use that to clean the elephants, which would have been really great if they'd done that before we got on, but they got to enjoy having that experience. And you can see in this picture, the guides are helping us all across. They have this little plank going across. There had been a lot of rain. It's not always this muddy. The water is a lot of times clear, but because they'd had typhoons going through the Philippines, and they'd had a lot of rain, and so it was kind of muddy. But you can see again, they were very careful. You can see the guide in the pink kind of in the middle. He's helping Harrison across, and they were they treated us very well. They were looking out for our best the whole way. You could see when any of us got leeches, if they saw it, they would be like, oh, you need to get that off, you know. They had they're kind of like inchworms. They look like inchworms. They inch their way along, but they're leeches, and when they get stuck on you, they're like slugs. Disgusting. Anyway, the guides were very kind and just protective. I watched them take care of the kids, and just made for a wonderful, wonderful time. And you can see here, crossing the river. So to start off with, Chloe and I watched the boys ride, and we're like, oh, do we want to ride? I don't know. It's kind of fun just watching them ride. I'm not sure I want to get on one of those elephants. They were so dirty. It's like, you know what? It's fun feeding them. I'm having a wonderful experience. I don't really need to ride. But then we got down to this spot right here, and the guide said, right, okay, we got to cross the river. It's like, okay. I said, well, I noticed that you can see the sticks going across in the background. There was like some logs that have fallen down all the way across. And I said, oh, you know what, I can just cross over on that. And the guide said, oh, no. No, you have to ride on the elephant. You can't go across that. So I was like, okay, well, they know best. They know the elephants, they know the river, they know how safe it is, they know how slippery that log is. I think I better just hop on the elephant. So that's what I did. Got filthy dirty. But I got across the river safely. And here they are going down to the river. This is back to where we were feeding them. And here's just a short video clip. There you can see that kind of bridge thing a little bit clearer. Would you want to cross over that? Not really. No. And here they are feeding them again. That's quite a long video. Let's see. Okay, well that was it as far as pictures. Here, I'll just put this one back up. Through the jungle, with about a mile hike, maybe a half a mile up and a half a mile back down. It was very slippery. It was wet. It actually was raining for part of the time we were there. And some of it was quite narrow, and I was quite surprised at how the elephants made it very seamlessly through a very narrow path. They have very big feet, but somehow they line their feet up like a straight line. And they're kind of big. They're very big. And also, there were parts where it was also steep and slippery, and there was a lot of debris and leaves down. And the guides several times came by and could see one or other of us having maybe trouble with our footing in a certain place, and they would walk in front of us. The guy who was in the pink shirt earlier, he would hop in front of one of us and say, just put your feet exactly where I put mine. And that's what we would do. And the guides had all kinds of instruction and fun things to share with us. They taught Nathan how to put his hands together and make like a flute sound and make a few different notes. And there was vegetation that they knew what everything was, what was edible, what was safe and not safe. And they picked up a leaf and they're like, try this. And they gave it to the kids to try, and it had a lemon flavor, and the boys liked it. And he said, but don't pick your own leaves. You have to ask me first if you can eat it. So anyway, a lot of this ride reminded me of a Bible verse. And I didn't bring my Bible up here, so I'll just pull it up here real quick. Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 6. A lot of times through life, teenagers kind of have a reputation for this, but we're all guilty of it from time to time. We all think we kind of know best. We all kind of think, oh, I can just do it my way. It's going to be okay. I just don't want to listen to that person. I don't want to obey. I just want to do my own thing. But the Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not onto your own understanding. Do you think if I had tried to cross on that log, it would have gone very well? It might not have gone well at all. And I'm glad I listened to the guide. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will direct your paths. There were a lot of things on that trip that kind of spoke to these verses, and I hope children and all of us, that we will all learn to submit and surrender to the guide of our life, who is Jesus Christ. He died for us and he knows the way. He's been there. He knows the way. We need to consult him in everything that we do. And so I hope you'll remember that story today. You can all go back to your seats.